Why in the hell am I sitting here in a guinea tux? Well, let me tell you, haven't worn a tie for probably 30 years. The last uniform I was forced to wear, United States Navy, got out in 1996. Folks, thanks for joining for the live. Feel free to jump on board and ask some questions because I'll be talking to you about the answers shortly. Here's the thing. 30,000 YouTube followers, a bunch of folks on my Instagram, friends and family whom I shake hands with, and then there's you. I do these conferences always in Vegas because, hell, it's Vegas. I don't know about you, but I love this sound at 3 o'clock in the morning. I love throwing the dice. Sold a property a couple of years ago, and I had over $400,000 liquid in the bank, so I called my hostess at the Bellagio and I said, I want to get a rating. These are stories that a guy at 51 years old can tell you. And you might lean forward in your chair, you might listen intently because that guy has a little bit of wampum, has a gold Rolex and all the bullshit and accoutrement. And don't forget, people misquote the Bible and other important stories or ex-presidents all the time. Money is not the root of all evil. It's the love of money. And that's what gets into your head. And by the way, I don't love money. I love the shit it buys. And mostly, not only the security, but the freedom. And we'll talk about that. I have laundromats for you. I have coin and cash laundries for you. The reality of how to operate these stores. The reality of the fact that I purchased a laundromat for $250 grand over 20 years ago and had no idea what I was doing. There was no me out there. I digress. Called my Bellagio hostess, and guess what? They sent me back a fax. This was a while ago. I can sign for $100,000 at all the Bellagio properties. I love gambling. But the difference is, let me tell you a secret. My dad was a degenerate gambler. My father went on a cruise ship with his best friend at the time, and they ended up never speaking again. Parents got divorced when I was 13. I was homeless for 6 months. And my dad, he taught me a lot about life. And also, I was able to see the fractures in his character. The fact that he couldn't handle gambling. We always had bets on football games, Army, Navy, but for him it was different. For him, he was trying to pay the mortgage. So I don't have a rant specifically here, but if you have a problem with gambling, just don't do it. I'm not there to try to pay my mortgage Sunday morning with a cigarette hanging out of my mouth. Oh, geez, 7 come 11. I enjoy the sport, the camaraderie. So in Vegas, we're going to have as many roped off craps tables as we need at the Circa downtown. I'm going to be entertaining, and a professional gambler is going to be teaching us how to throw the bones. You ever walk through the Bellagio at 3 a.m. and hear people screaming? It's because the 21 dealer is against you, and all the craps players are with the same team, as are the stick man and all of his crew. It's the greatest, most enjoyable game. And I'll also teach you some almost even money dice rolls. Las Vegas, if you don't already know, I've done this once or twice, and this year it's just over 2 weeks away. Again, be staying at the Circus for the Circa for the downtown vibe. I've got you a huge 30% off on the room rates. That is, dignitaries and presidents get 30% off, so it's big. I had to fight for you. The link in the description. Don't go now, but join us. Why do you care? Well, if you've never been to a conference, understand the conference itself is a write-off. Buy yourself a new suit, for God's sakes. Write it off. Your airline travel, your plane, train, and automobile, it's a write-off. Now, you're getting to Vegas, you're jumping in with who? Me, I'll be your master of ceremonies. You might have heard of Brandon Schlichter. He's the investment joy guy. He has 1.5 million followers. He's a very down home character. and a good friend of mine. And I don't use that word lightly. Brandon and I have broken bread, shook hands, and I want you to meet him. He's the from poverty to millions, been evicted a bunch of times guy. Now he owns properties, and of course, he's famous for it. Check out his channel. Luke and Lee Williford, they've started the social media thing, but who the hell are they? Well, they've got 80-some laundromats, family-owned and operated. They're second generation. They grew up picking up dryer sheets off the floor. Now they're expanding that empire, and they're the fastest growing laundromat franchise, if you will, in the United States, probably the world. Very faithful, lovely gentlemen. I consider them both friends. Oysters, cocktails in Vegas. These are guys whose ear you want to bend. Luke and Lee Williford, I don't know if they want people to know what they're earning in their stores. $500,000 net in cash a month. It's real, ladies and gentlemen. It's real. These are props. This is stuff that I pull out of my vault. If you haven't seen the videos, cash money, kidnap and ransom money, bring it. Chris Atkins will be there, my very good friend from Australia. Again, broken bread, hung out on his channel. Now this guy, this unique character, my bodyguard, Chris, got my DVD back when my course was just a DVD, and we shipped it to Australia. Now, he ended up with a bunch of ideas and concept implanted in his huge brain. He came to America, Los Angeles, as he calls it, and he started his empire of not free laundromats, but free car washes. So he'll be there, he'll be speaking. Now, there's a guy that's really down to earth that I think was drugged, kicking and screaming into YouTube, and his name is Keenan Grutter. You know him as Following Keenan. This is a dude that you just want to hang out with, have a beer, and have him help you fix your 87 Toyota Corolla. Joe Dan Reed has a small following, but this gentleman found me on YouTube and said, Danny, I got to tell you, me and the wife, we're just watching you on the big screen and cracking up. Harley Davidson guy, 11 laundromats, now culled down to 9 because he found he enjoys selling them. So he's building these free laundromats, and he toots my horn like you wouldn't believe. And Joe Dan is the kind of guy that's a serial entrepreneur. He's got businesses, Splash 'em Out Laundries. That's his YouTube channel. Check him out. Links in the description. I'll be your MC. And of course, there's my good buddy, the teddy bear with the wit and the switchblade, Daniel Albrand, known as Hot Doggin' with Dan. Now, Dan is unique because he scooped up my course, got himself a free laundromat, did some work, did some YouTube about it, sold it for $35,000 to a willing participant. Click the links, jump on board, and let's meet in Vegas. I'm going to talk to you and answer some of your questions. But first and foremost, if you've never been to one of these events, this is the one. If it's about the money, because it's not cheap, I'm spending your tuition on the rooftop bar night 1. This is an experience, and there's plenty of time to get there. Meet not only with us, but you and the other heavy hitters that are coming out of this type of event. End up with that number in your Rolodex, including mine. Yeah, you'll get my cell phone number. The root of all evil. Looking back is easy. Speaking to some of the billionaires who I consider friends, who I'm texting on Christmas Day. Rick, you know who you are. Hopefully he'll be there helping us steal some choppers in Vegas. There are many, many diversities to investing. I want to see you and your family in a substantial wealth category. I truly do. I want you to create little rich assholes like my daughters. It's a problem to have. You ever see me and I don't have an ounce of gold in my pocket, you can punch me right in the dick. Here's the thing. Canadians, they make the best stuff. This is, I don't know, $22,000 today. This is 10 ounces of pure 99.999% gold. These are Canadian bullion coins. I love these little guys because you're able to fit these in your pocket. I work for a living. Look at that pinky. 10 ounces of gold. Assets. Assets that tell time. Looking back, if there was any point to this whatsoever, I've become a lease negotiator. I'm teaching and training and mentoring people in the coin laundromat business about the realities. Ask me anything. No horse shit. No back talk. One of the things I teach my kids, you never lie. Tell a fib, it's going to bite you in the ass. It's better to be able to keep everything straight and not concern yourself with it. I'm going to say this to folks that are on here right now. Grab your ticket for Vegas. Never look back. No one, including me, is asking to put your life in jeopardy or dig a ditch or break a sweat. Come out to Vegas and hang with us. Dapper Dan. Well, thank you, John. I appreciate your noticing. I am the female in my relationship. I really like, well, Shelly's a great dresser too. Back for more. Hi, Mac. Rojangles. Danny, let's talk money. I'm hearing laundromats can bring in 20-25% net income with your experience. Are those percentages once the debt service has been paid? Yes, absolutely, of course. You're hearing that because I said it yesterday on a live video. So in rented space, if you're not the landlord and you didn't buy the building, because don't forget, this is a zero-sum game, what we do, what I teach, what I preach. I want you to get off your ass, buy a silly course that's a few $100s, always has been. I've never fluctuated the price of this thing for 20 years. I want you to get that information and plant it in your head. It's always been guaranteed. No one has ever asked for a refund. Isn't that amazing? You know why? Because the minute they see it, they say, well, shit howdy, now I know what I must do. Whether or not they put one foot in front of the other is up to them. How in the hell can you get a free laundromat? I saw some folks on the video that brought us to this video saying, I'm new here. No, they're on a live. Who are you talking to? Jimmy, we're kidding. There's a lot to know. There's 700 YouTube videos, not including shorts on my channel. I've been here for a long time, kids. 25% net in leased space. And yes, of course, again, no bullshit as a callback. That is after you pay your bills. That's what net is. I'm not omitting salary because we don't pay a salary to anyone. That's part of what I teach and preach. When you pay off your equipment, what you need to do instantly is go out and bring your distributors back and retool again. Otherwise, you're going to end up someone like me or my ilk is going to scoop up your store. Hey, Danny, hope you're having a great day. Love your content. Thank you, Andy. Danny, first time seeing you preaching about the Bible. I was overseas in 1991, and we all know what that was about. And I'm reading the Koran. My friends, my associates, my fellow world's finest Navy participants, what the fuck is that? I want to know, not the enemy, but know who it is that we are fighting against. And yes, the Bible, lots of phenomenal tidbits there. The one self-help book that you must read. Best negotiating YouTube channel in 2022. Well, thank you, Critic Greek. I think I'm one of the only channels, if not the only. I've never YouTubed it and looked it up. Can't miss Vegas show. Correct. Get there. Get your tickets, kids. It's not going to be cheaper in a week. It's 2 weeks away. The Circa, the downtown vibe, all the speakers I mentioned, and you. Grab your ticket. Hello, Danny and chat. Just dropping in to say hello. Hello, Christopher. Don't forget to smash, boom, that like button. Yeah, whatever. I'm not a YouTuber at heart, but thanks. Actually on my way to Vegas now. I'm glad this video randomly popped up. Well, stay there for a while or come back on the 13th of January. Never lie unless you have to. Find out if he or she is the actual landlord. All right, well, that's a fib, and what he's talking about, probably a client of mine, hey, I'm going to put a food truck in the parking lot, et cetera, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. I've got more than one client currently working with me who's a police officer, who has access to certain records, and I tell them, hey, la, 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 I don't want to know how you get the information on landlords, but every single commercial space has a landlord, and many of them have a real estate agent or a management company standing between them and your success. If you know that and you understand that and you know how to communicate, you go out and get that information. You can call them, you can negotiate with them once you've seen my course, or hire me to do it. How many stores do estimate you have Landlord Danny using the course? Can't help you. I don't know what that means. Bingo! Oh yeah, I live there, I'll be there. Well, Wheels, grab your ticket. And I'm gonna do something special for you if I see you grabbing your ticket today. What's your first name? Let me know. Again, I love to do the lives. I love to bring you guys on board. And I think that if I want to say anything about my channel, it's reality. It's reality television. 2 or 3 times a week, I go live with landlords, and I don't know what they're going to say. I just don't. And we find out live together. Sure, my editor comes back and cleans it up and puts some fun movie lines in later, but the lives, I love it. That's what I stand on. I'm crushing, closing sometimes 2 leases a day. Last week, it was Dallas, Texas, and Connecticut. Closed leases, done and signed. But you need to understand that laundromats are phenomenal businesses. They're in leased space, in our case. And I'm going to teach and train and mentor you how to do it properly. I've got tons to do today, but it was important to me to jump on board with you guys and talk to you. I'm looking back. And for someone at my age, okay, midlife, being able to look back and give you advice on everything from partnerships to marriage, laundromats are what I landed on. I'm not trying to be Tony Robbins, nor do I know exactly what he does, but I know that these people are motivational speakers. And if you need that, that ain't me. I'm here to talk to you about coin laundries and turning that into millions, not your relationship or your motivation. I've been lucky many times in my life. Lucky in love, lucky in friendships. And if you're not coming to my house New Year's Eve, you're missing out. Mike, where do we get the tickets? Whoa, what a way to finish. Mike, there's a link right in the description in this video. Or you go to freelaundromat.com. It's like I set that up with Mike, but again, that would be a fib, and that is not my thing. Mike, here it is right here. I always crack up when I'm putting out videos and YouTubes and talking to people about this event that I'm throwing, and I don't care if there's 400 people in that room. I really don't. Because shaking your hand, Mike, and being able to hang out with you is what's important. And Mike, you have to understand this, and folks here that don't, write it off. I started talking about that, and I'll finish with it. Write it off. The biggest benefit, people ask me, what's the great tax benefit for laundromats? Well, the depreciation on all of that heavy equipment. I only buy full-size SUVs and 4-wheel drive pickups because I'm writing off the curb weight. And they're cool. But be serious about anything you do in business. Write off 33% of your kitchen table as your home office. That's not a lie or a fib. It's what the IRS allows. If you have a job, I don't give a if you're taking the bus to dig ditches every day, or if you're a neurosurgeon driving your Corvette into the basement to go up and perform surgery, you have a job. It stands for just over broke. You're making someone else money. Your boss may hate you, and you may hate her or him, but at the end of the day, they're thrilled because you're there making them money, and they've got a smile puckered under their suit. I have an idea for you. I have coin laundromats, nothing else. Nothing I've done in my life has led to this type of wealth. You want to do real estate? I'm sorry, it takes money. Where will you get that cash? Laundromats. You want to buy yourself a gold fat Rolex for Christmas? Selfish bastard. Laundromats. Hey, maybe you want to be a guru. I hate that word. I'm a realist. I'll see you kids in Vegas. Thank you so much for joining. Hit the like, subscribe, and do the stuff and things. But more importantly, hit that link and meet us. Ciao.